What's going on? It's Tyler Clonoles with Jenni Wood, and her Instagram is that Jenni Wood.
Sells Huntsville.
Yeah. Ooh,
Sells
okay.
HSV.
Okay, so we are coming at you today. She does some cool stuff too, about kind of what the market's trending just a little bit. I'm just seeing a tiny shift, and so I kind of wanted to bring her on today and see what she's seeing, and kind of we're just gonna give a snippet. I guess it's a market update.
It is, because two heads are better than one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of wanted to see what she was saying. We might get into some prices, stuff, etc. So I brought you on. What you were talking about? What was your recent one about with the market and how it's going?
Okay, so we pulled stats from HAR, which is our Area Association of Realtors. They are super awesome to keep those for us.
Mm-hmm.
So they pulled April year over year, which is a comparison between April of last year, which was what, 2021?
2021,
right?
I know
And then April of this year. And so this year, our average sale price was like what, 360-ish? I know that's a perfectly round number, but we'll just say, for sake of argument, 360,000. Whereas last year, it was definitely not that. It was like what, 2 something?
Yeah, I want to say it was still in the 2s for sure.
Yeah, which is a huge jump. We're also seeing a huge reduction in homes for sale year over year. So I know we're reading a lot nationally about, you know, what's going to happen to the market. Is it going to decline? And the data that we have so far says we are still in a very low inventory market, which, you know, indicates that we're not seeing that decline yet. We would start seeing more homes available. We would start seeing, you know, the average sale price drop a little bit and the days on market drop. And we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. I guess the point being that, yes, have we seen a slight shift? And I kind of want to talk about what you're seeing.
Oh, for sure.
If you can get into like some listings, I'll get into some listings about what we're seeing. But as a whole, we're still miles away from what you would consider a market shift from a seller's market to even a neutral market. We're not even talking about a buyer's market, which I think is what's happening to everyone. Everyone's seeing the national news, you know, trauma, what you said.
We're traumatized from 2007.
Yeah, I think everyone's
Rightly
mind,
so.
like, it sees a tiny shift, sees some stuff in the news, and everyone's going back to '08. And as of right now, just not seeing anything of the sort. So I guess let's hop into the prices and kind of where, kind of what you're seeing depending on what price point you're at.
So generally speaking, I'm seeing 350-ish, like 350,000 and below is still moving really, really fast with multiple offers. It's still pretty highly competitive.
Yeah.
And then as we start inching up towards 425, it's not that we're not seeing great results.
Yep.
I think just the amount of offers you can expect might be fewer.
Exactly. And so it really comes down to, I guess, knowledge of that, you know, having that conversation that you're going to know that it's not, you know, it's that used to everything was a weekend, day of, a week, and it pretty much didn't matter what price point you were at unless you were above $1 million. And you know, now the 400s, like you said, they're selling quickly, but it's just not, if you're not priced right and everything's not perfect, they're just not moving like they are. Yeah. Oh, perfect segue.
You are so right about price. It is driving me crazy. For every, and this is anecdotal, like 6 sales I pull, it seems like 1 did not have great results. And if you go back and look at the pictures, you can tell we just started too high. You have to price toward condition. The time for testing the market has passed. It's gone.
100%.
And you don't really need to. If you price to condition, you're still going to have great results. But you can't shoot for the moon thinking you look like Pottery Barn when you look like a 1960s time capsule.
Yeah, kind of sad. I guess not sad. I mean, I think a neutral market is good for everybody. But yeah, the time has passed, I believe, for you know exactly what you're saying. The homes that were, you know, haven't been touched, going multiple offers way above asking. The testing of the market is something that.
And I don't think it's necessarily indicative of, oh my gosh, scary things are happening. Interest rates are going up. Buyers are still a little cash strapped. So they're looking at that time capsule going, I don't think I have the funds in the budget to do a total gut job. And I think that's why they're reticent to go in at the top of the market price, because they've already stretched their budget.
Exactly. Do you want to get in on what is because we throw around seller's market a lot, throw around buyer's market, you know, could you do
Yes,
your
I love
example?
that you're like, ah.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, take over.
It's a concept that is very abstract. Even for our agents at Homes has been keeping these stats for at least 10 years, ever since I've been here. It's abstract. It's okay if you want to rewind and watch it.
Yeah. So I guess let's start at the baseline because exactly like you're saying, it took me,
It takes a while.
I bet I was in it years before I really got, okay, now I get exactly what they're saying. So seller's market, neutral market, buyer's market is based off something called an absorption rate. And so
So we measure absorption rates in metrics of months, but you have to understand what it actually is. So I don't have one because it would be a mess and I hate messes. Let's pretend that we have a towel, right? It's a small towel. That's going to be our sellers. And let's pretend you have a gallon of water over here. That's going to be our buyers. So what's going to happen if we pour that entire gallon of water onto our sellers? That sounds gross. Onto our towel, right? It's going to absorb that water very quickly.
Yeah.
So it's going to absorb that inventory, which would be like almost none.
Yeah.
And it would be very soggy and wet and dripping, which is pretty much what we're experiencing right now.
Seller's market 1 to 3 months, just FYI. Neutral is 3 to 7 and 7 and above. Is
like
that right?
closer to 4,
Okay.
4 to 7-ish. Obviously when you start broaching towards those numbers,
Yeah.
it's moot. But the towel gets larger and the cup gets smaller the closer you get to a buyer's market. So if you have a huge towel and a little itty bitty dropper of water, those buyers could have their pick of any home they wanted. So that market, the sellers are not going to absorb those buyers very quickly. You're going to see a lot more homes staying on the market for longer.
Exactly.
Which would typically be 7 months and up.
Yeah, so you got to think where we're at, and is it shifting? Anecdotally, seeing a little bit, hadn't seen anything show up on our stats. That right now this is showing 8 days on market for Limestone and Madison County. So you're talking about the difference from that to being in a buyer's market. You're going from days to months. And we're still calculating in days of under a month, so it's still a very, very hot seller's market, even though maybe it has shifted just a tiny bit. Do you have anything else that you think's important?
We're not Chicken Little yet. The sky is not falling yet.
Yeah, not at all.
We're gonna keep an eye and let you know when it happens,
Yeah.
but we're not there yet.
Yeah, it's just not what we're seeing. So I guess that's it for this one. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, Jenni Woods, we'll tag her stuff in here. Thank you, and Knoll's Nose Homes. Till next time.